Welcome to the MyNewMortgage.ca home buyer video series. Today we are joined by Daniel Durst. Daniel is an insurance specialist in the Oakville area. Welcome, Daniel.
Great, thank you for the opportunity.
When buying a home, making sure it is properly insured is a very important aspect. Can you explain why being properly insured is an important aspect of the homeownership process?
Well, for most families, your home is going to be one of the largest assets that you own. And not only will be providing protection and a safe shelter for your family, it may also be a part of your investment strategy. It'll be building family wealth and that type of thing, and may even provide a source of income for your retirement in the future. Just as you've spent time researching mortgage rates and building inspections and making sure it's a safe home, you also want to make sure that you're properly protecting it. So you need to spend some time up front researching about home insurance, finding out who's going to insure it properly for you, meeting with a specialist face-to-face, and making sure that you're properly protecting this asset.
Why does the bank insist that fire insurance coverage is in place before registering a new mortgage?
The bank is mainly interested in protecting its own interest. If you're putting 20% down on the purchase of your home, you're taking a mortgage for 80% or so of that home, and that means that the bank owns 80% of your home. So obviously they have a very vested interest in making sure that that home is properly protected. So when it comes to closing the home, your lawyer is responsible not only for helping you with that, but also making sure that the mortgagee is protected under that homeowner's policy. So the bank will want to make sure that you've got a proper policy, a good quality policy in place protecting their asset as well at the time that it closes, before they'll actually allow the home to close.
Home insurance is often described as a package policy. Can you explain some of the things that are included in this policy and some things that a homeowner might want to consider?
Certainly, all companies will have their own packages of basic coverages within their policy. And you need to spend time up front before you purchase the policy to understand what each of these packages will include, and more importantly, what they don't include. Generally, the more coverages and protections that are within that policy, the more expensive the policy is. And unfortunately, a lot of people won't really understand whether they're covered for certain items until the time of claim, and that's not the time to know whether you're protected or not. So within each of the packages, understand what different coverages, but generally there are three main areas of coverage that all protection or all packages will protect you for.
You mentioned there were three main areas of protection. Can you touch on the first area?
Sure. The first area is often called coverage A, and that's mainly the protection of the building and the structure of the building and anything which is permanently attached to the home. So it would be items like your kitchen cupboards and kitchen cabinets and anything that may be permanently installed, such as dishwashers. Now that's kind of the starting point for your policy, and your insurance company will calculate what they believe the maximum risk is to them should that home burn to the ground and be completely gone. Basically what it's going to cost them to rebuild that. And this may or may not be similar to your purchase price or the market value from the perspective that not only building the house, but possibly redoing the foundation, possibly doing environmental cleanup, that type of thing, is all included in this coverage A number. So when your insurance company starts, they're going to calculate that number, and that will drive a lot of other numbers in your policy. One of the important things to know about your coverage A or the replacement of that structure is you'll want to make sure that you have a policy which has similar construction to it, meaning that when they rebuild that structure, it's going to be similar materials they use, solid wood doors, wide baseboards, upgraded carpets, that type of thing. Some policies on the market are common construction, meaning they're basically going to build it to builder's grade. They've fulfilled their contract, and obviously you're not happy because you haven't had the same house that you lost prior to the event. So coverage A is extremely important that you understand how it was calculated and make sure it appears to be an accurate number.
We've covered the first area of protection on home policies. What would the second area of protection be?
The second area is often called coverage B, and it usually protects your personal property. Often with a package of insurance, the company will give you a percentage of your coverage A, which is included at no charge. So you may be covered for $300,000, $400,000 worth of personal property. Now your personal property is everything that you're going to move into that home, and if you ever move out, everything that you're going to take with you. So your clothing, your furniture, your appliances, pots and pans and dishes, all of that type of thing. So when they come up with a coverage B, you'll want to make sure that that is enough coverage to protect your personal property. And also you'll want to make sure that you have full replacement cost on that. Some companies will give actual cash value, meaning at time of claim, they're going to discount or lower the value of all of your goods by their age. You don't want that. Your other option is a replacement value for your personal property, meaning that you're going to go out and buy a new TV similar to what you had before, and they're going to reimburse you for what that is. So coverage B is very important, and it's very important that you understand all of the different clauses and options in this area, because there may be special limits for things like cash, for things like jewelry, those types of things. So make sure you spend some time talking about your coverage B and how your personal property is being protected.
We've covered the first two areas of protection. Can you tell us a bit about the third area?
Sure. The third area of protection that's included in most homeowners policies is protection from liability, it's called. And basically that's protection against a lawsuit that's brought against you. If you injure a person, or if somebody is injured on your premise, or you do damage to their property, they're going to sue you, and this is going to be covered under your liability protection. This pays for lawyers to be hired to defend you in court, and will pay up to those limits on any judgment which is brought against you. Generally, people are looking for higher areas of liability protection today. As our society becomes more litigious, we're finding that traditionally the $1 million that often was put on a homeowner's policy is often not enough. So make sure you look into this area and check and see whether you need higher limits of liability. It'll depend a bit on your lifestyle. It'll depend a little bit on your assets as well. But liability is an extremely important part. So make sure you understand that section as well.
There are some major differences between buying a freehold home and a condominium. Can you touch on some of the key insurance differences between these two types of homes?
Yeah, from an insurance perspective, generally purchasing a freehold home means that you're responsible for all of those areas of insurance. You're responsible for protecting the building, protecting your personal property, and also from a liability perspective. Generally, under a condominium situation, the condominium board owns a policy which protects the building, protects the shell of the building as it was originally built. So from that perspective, your main area of focus for insurance purposes is your personal property and also your liability. Having said that, there have been a lot of changes to condominium boards recently, and we're finding that often they're not protecting as much as they used to. So your best rule of thumb is to ensure that you get a copy of the condominium board policy to your trusted insurance agent so that they can review that to make sure that they're going to properly protect you going forward.
In the mortgage industry, we have a saying that it's not always about rate. Sometimes a lender may offer a great rate, but there'll be restrictive terms. What should a first-time home buyer be aware of when searching for the best deal on their home insurance?
Well, and that's certainly true in the world of insurance as well. Cheap is not good in the world of insurance. I've seen quotes from different companies for the same home, the same people living in it, range from $40 a month up to well over $100 a month. And really the difference is going to be in how that company protects you and looks after you at time of claim. And you do not want to be saving $10 or $20 a month and then find out it costs you tens of thousands of dollars at time of claim. So truly, your best option is to sit down face-to-face with an agent. The more that agent understands about your lifestyle, about your property, your possessions, and the better he or she can properly protect you. Don't get quite so hung up on cheap. Make sure that you understand what you're protected for, what you're not protected for, and then make your decision as far as whether that's good value for your money or not. So very much the same in the world of insurance.
If you didn't see the answer to the question you had today on home insurance, visit our Ask the Expert section of our website, MyNewMortgage.ca. Daniel, would you be interested in answering some questions about home insurance on our website?
Absolutely. Myself and my team would be thrilled to help anybody out with questions you may have about home insurance. So you can contact us through the website, phone us, drop into the office. We'd be happy to look after anyone on those types of things.
Great, thank you.